Close your eyes and think of East Asia. What comes to mind? Perhaps faces so similar they are almost indistinguishable, shared aesthetic values, or ancient traditions rooted in the same geography. But how accurate is this perception? Are the peoples of China, Japan, and Korea truly so alike from an outsider's perspective? Or do these superficial similarities mask deep cultural differences shaped by thousands of years of distinct historical paths? Which one is the heir to an older civilization? How genetically close are they? Why don't they use the same alphabet? This text aims to answer all these questions in your mind by going beyond stereotypes, relying on scientific, historical, and anthropological data. While geographical proximity and certain physical traits underlie the apparent resemblance of these three cultures, each is the product of a unique linguistic, historical, and sociological journey. Tracing this journey helps us understand not only their differences, but also the complex fabric of mutual interaction spanning millennia. Genetically, the apparent similarity among Chinese, Japanese, and Koreans is primarily based on their classification within a broad group called the Mongoloid. This classification is grounded in certain physical traits adapted to cold climate conditions during the Ice Age. However, significant diversity exists beneath this broad umbrella. For example, China, due to its vast geographic size, possesses the most heterogeneous structure. Northern Chinese show genetic affinities with Mongol and Manchu populations, while Southern Chinese share closer kinship ties with Southeast Asian peoples like the Thai and Vietnamese. The Yellow River and Yangtze River valleys have hosted some of humanity's oldest agricultural communities, leading to early genetic diversification. The Korean people, thanks to the relatively isolated geography of the peninsula, form one of Asia's most homogeneous populations. Research indicates that Koreans have a closer genetic relationship with Japanese than with Chinese. Of course, this does not mean they have never been influenced by outside factors. Mongol invasions and waves of migration from China have contributed to their gene pool. The origin of the Japanese people is even more intriguing, as it is based on the mixture of two main migratory waves. The first wave was the Jomon people, c. 14,000 BCE, 300 BCE, who lived a hunter-gatherer lifestyle and showed genetic similarities to today's Ainu people and some Siberian populations. The second and more decisive wave was the Yayoi migrants, c. 300 BCE, 300 CE, who brought agriculture and metalworking technologies. This group likely came from the Korean peninsula and forms the foundational genetic component of the modern Japanese population. Later aristocratic migrations from Korea during the Kofun period 250538 EC further enriched this mixture. Modern anthropology and genetics have revealed that traditional race categories are more social constructs than biological realities. Most human genetic diversity exists within any given group, while differences between groups are minimal. Therefore, the main distinctions among these three peoples stem less from biology and more from millennia of cultural, historical, and linguistic developments. At this point, examining the most defining difference, language, will clarify the issue. Language is the sharpest tool for distinguishing these cultures, as they do not even belong to the same language family and are structurally quite different. Chinese Hanyu belongs to the Sino-Tibetan family Sinitic branch and is distinguished by its tonal nature. Mandarin Chinese has 4 main tones, while Cantonese features up to 9. The same syllable pronounced with different tones can have completely different meanings. Sentence structure follows subject-verb-object order. The writing system is logographic Hanzi, where each character represents a concept or morpheme. Japanese Ribanyu Nihongo has debated origins. It is considered either an isolate or linked to the Altaic language family. It is an agglutinative and suffixing language with complex verb conjugations. It is not tonal but uses a musical accent system. The sentence order is subject-object-verb. One of Japanese's most distinctive features is its highly intricate honorific language keigo, reflecting social hierarchy. Its writing system is unique. It combines 3 scripts: kanji Chinese characters for meaning, hiragana for native words and grammar, and katakana for foreign loanwords. Korean Hangugo. Hangujeo shows similarities to Japanese in grammatical structure, subject, object, verb, suffixing, and is therefore sometimes linked to the Altaic language family, though this remains debated. Modern Korean is not tonal. Its greatest treasure is Hangul, one of the world's most scientific writing systems, consciously invented in 1443 under King Sejong to increase literacy. The shapes of the letters represent the position of articulation in the mouth. Traditionally, Chinese characters called hanja were also used but are now limited in use. Classical Chinese served as the region's lingua franca for centuries, profoundly influencing both Japanese and Korean vocabularies. Sino-Japanese words kango and Sino-Korean words hanja-eo can constitute up to 60-70% of the vocabulary. Interestingly, in the modern globalized era, the flow has reversed somewhat. Pop culture and technology terms from Japanese and Korean have begun entering Chinese. These linguistic differences inevitably bring distinct thought patterns and worldviews. Indeed, this linguistic diversity reflects the unique historical journeys each culture has undergone. Considering their civilizational origins, China has the oldest continuous written records. The Shang dynasty, c. 1600–1046 BCE, is the first archaeologically verified dynasty, leaving behind oracle bone inscriptions used for divination. The Zhou dynasty, c. 1046–256 BCE, introduced the concept of the mandate of heaven and established a feudal system. The Qin dynasty, 221–206 BCE, unified China for the first time under a single empire and initiated the construction of the Great Wall. The Han dynasty, 206 BCE. 220 was a golden age when ethnic Chinese identity formed, the Silk Road opened, and Confucianism became the state ideology. Korean history begins with the legendary Gojoseon Kingdom c. 2333–108 BCE. This was followed by the Three Kingdoms period 57 BCE, 668 CE, Goguryeo, Baekje, and Silla. The unification of the kingdoms by Silla led to the unified Silla period 668–935. The succeeding Goryeo dynasty 918–1392 gave the country its name and saw the peak of Buddhism. The Joseon dynasty 1392–1897 ruled stably for over 500 years, spreading Neo-Confucianism throughout society and initiating a cultural revolution by creating the Hangul alphabet under King Sejong. Japan's written history begins later. The Jomon period, c. 1400–300 BCE, represents the pottery culture of hunter-gatherer society. The Yayoi period, c. 300 BCE, 300 CE marks the start of agriculture and metallurgy. The Kofun period, 2505–38 CE, is characterized by large burial mounds and clan societies. During the Asuka period, 538–710 AA, Buddhism, the writing system, and state models were adopted from China. The Nara period 710–794 CE saw the establishment of the first permanent capital and the strengthening of central governance. According to legend, the Japanese imperial family dates back to 660 BCE and is considered the world's oldest continuous dynasty. The 19th and 20th centuries shook all three societies in different ways, shaping their modern forms. China, weakened by the Opium Wars in the 19th century, was known as the sick man of Asia. The Qing dynasty fell in 1912, leading to the Republic of China's foundation. And in 1949, the Communist Party took power, establishing the People's Republic of China. The reform and opening up policies starting in 1978 launched China's rise to the world's second-largest economy. Japan was forcibly opened in 1853 by American Commodore Matthew Perry's black ships, triggering the Meiji Restoration in 1868, a radical modernization and westernization process. This rapid transformation made Japan an Asian power, but also led to militaristic expansion from 1931 to 1945. After World War II under American occupation, Japan democratized and quickly achieved an economic miracle, re-emerging on the world stage. Korea endured a painful Japanese colonial period from 1910 to 1945, during which cultural identity was suppressed. Liberation after World War. The second was followed by division due to the Cold War in 1948. The Korean War 1950-1953 devastated the peninsula. South Korea experienced remarkable economic development, the miracle on the Han River, under authoritarian regimes from the 1960s and democratization from the 1980s onward. North Korea developed into a closed totalitarian regime centered on the Jewish self-reliance ideology. These divergent modernization experiences deeply affected societal characters. These historical divergences naturally manifest in every layer of culture. For example, in religion and spirituality, China traditionally embraced the three teachings together: Confucianism for social order and ethics, Taoism as a philosophical and spiritual guide, and Buddhism offering beliefs about the afterlife. Ancestor worship and folk beliefs involving nature spirits are also present. Although the communist era adopted official atheism, today there is state-controlled religious freedom. Japan's indigenous faith is Shinto, based on kami spirits of nature, respect for ancestors, and purity concepts. Buddhism arrived in the 6th century via Korea, giving rise to unique schools like Zen. Most Japanese participate in both Shinto and Buddhist rituals at different life stages. This syncretism defines Japanese religious life. Korea traditionally featured shamanism, Mu, Buddhism, and Confucianism. In the 20th century, especially in South Korea, Christianity, Protestantism, and Catholicism rapidly spread to about 30% of the population. Buddhism remains significant. In North Korea, the Jewish ideology functions like a state religion. Culinary cultures also reflect these differences. Chinese cuisine boasts tremendous diversity from 8 major regional traditions. Sichuan is known for spicy dishes, Cantonese for steamed and light flavors, and Beijing for imperial cuisine. Meals emphasize yin-yang balance and the 5-element theory. Stir-frying in a wok is a fundamental technique. Japanese cuisine washoku focuses on naturalness, seasonality, and aesthetic presentation. Raw fish, sashimi, rice gohan, fermented soy products, soy sauce, miso, tofu, and seaweed are staples. Cooking techniques are simple grilling, steaming, boiling, but meticulous. Korean cuisine is vibrant, bold, and features fermented flavors. At its heart is kimchi, fermented vegetables like cabbage or radish, with spicy chili paste, gochujang, and garlic. Barbecue gugigui, and a variety of small side dishes, banchan, color the table. Artistic and aesthetic sensibilities differ as well. Chinese art is famed for calligraphy shufa, the artistic expression of writing, and landscape painting shan shui. The use of empty space liubai is as important as the subject. The Beijing opera Jingju epitomizes traditional performing arts. Japanese aesthetics rest on minimalism and the beauty of imperfection wabi-sabi. The 3-line haiku poetry, flower arrangement art ikebana, and miniature tree bonsai reflect this philosophy. No and kabuki theater are traditional forms, while anime and manga have global impact today. Korean art stands out with vivid colors and rhythm. Traditional hanbok clothing features bright hues. The mask dance talkum is lively. In narrative music, pansori and drum performances, seimol nori, are foundational to traditional music. Today, KPop and K-dramas have created a global wave. Social values and daily life practices show similar diversity. In China, the family jia holds central importance. Extended family structures and investment in children, xiao, filial piety, are traditional values. Modern effects like the one-child policy and rapid urbanization are transforming this structure. In Japan, group harmony wei is the foundation of social life. There is a distinction between one's true feelings ane and the outward expression conforming to social expectations tateme. Seniority relationships, senpai khai, matter in workplaces. In Korea, warm emotional bonds jeong and the ability to read social context nunchi are critical in relationships. Exceptional emphasis on education culminates annually in the university entrance exam sunung, during which the entire country virtually pauses. Today, relations among these 3 countries are shaped by tensions arising from differing interpretations of shared history. Japanese colonialism left deep wounds in Korea, and Japanese occupation in China caused enduring scars. War reparations and official apologies remain sensitive diplomatic issues. At the same time, fierce economic and technological competition continues. their influence on global culture has come in waves. In the 1980s and 90s, Japanese culture, anime, manga, video games conquered the world. Since the 2000s, the Korean wave Hallyu, with K-pop, dramas, and beauty products, has become a global phenomenon. China increases its soft power through Confucius institutes, a growing film industry, and economic strength. In conclusion, China, Japan, and Korea each represents a distinct civilizational journey rooted in similar geographic and human beginnings, but shaped by different historical experiences, cultural choices, and social innovations that have brought them to today. Understanding this story is not about asking simplistic questions like, which is superior, or which is older, but about appreciating each culture's internal complexity and unique contribution to humanity's mosaic. China's ancient continuity, Japan's adaptability and transformation, Korea's resilience and creative explosion, all are valuable and inspiring in their own right. So next time you meet someone from one of these cultures, will you set aside superficial similarities and be curious about the millennia-old unique story behind them? Do you think these deep-rooted differences can be preserved in an increasingly globalized world? Or will they gradually fade? And most importantly, what can we learn from the wisdom of these ancient cultures to solve the complex problems of the modern world? The answer lies in how deeply we wish to understand both our shared humanity and the diversity that enriches it. Thank you for this in-depth and rich content. Your comprehensive explanation of the unique aspects and common origins of Chinese, Japanese, and Korean cultures is invaluable. I subscribed to your channel, liked your posts, and left my comment to see more content like this. If you are curious about the fascinating history, cultural differences, and similarities of East Asian civilizations, subscribe now, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Looking forward to new discoveries together.